Emma Swan is about to celebrate her 28th birthday when a knock comes at her door. She opens it to find a boy named Henry, who claims that he is her son. Surprised by this news, she decides to follow him to his hometown of Storybrooke, which he claims is cursed. Every single person in the town is a character from fairy tales that has been cursed to our world. They do not remember who they are. They have been given new identities and new roles to play in our world. And the only one who knows the truth is the evil queen, aka the mayor of the city, and also the adoptive mother of Henry. Emma Swan is ready to leave as soon as she enters the town. But after seeing how the mayor is, she decides to stick around for a few more days because she feels like something might be wrong. And as she continues to stay, Henry continues to try to convince her that magic is real and that these people are from an enchanted world, known as the Enchanted Forest. Now, before we get back to the story of our world, I'm going to go ahead and tell you a little story about Snow White. Snow White was a princess until her father passed away. The blame was placed on her from the evil queen. The evil queen framed her and put a price on her head. So Snow White became a bandit, constantly fighting against the evil queen. One day, she robs the coach of Prince Charming, who is at the time engaged to another. Yet despite this, during the time they spend together, they fall in love. And he decides to leave his fiancée and be with Snow White. The two of them work together in order to take back their country from the evil queen. And on their wedding day, the evil queen states that she will curse them and everyone else in the land. So they go to see Rumpelstiltskin, who tells them that their daughter will be the one to save them all, and that they must send her to our world ahead of them, so that she might have a chance to save them on her 28th birthday. So, back to present day, Emma Swan, now 28 and in Storybrooke, continues to find out that more and more things aren't adding up in this town. And she continues to make changes throughout the town. Small changes, large changes, and changes that we won't really see take effect until later on. And one thing that happens is she ends up making a deal with Rumpelstiltskin, because Cinderella made a deal with Rumpelstiltskin in the enchanted world to give him her firstborn son. It was the price that she paid in order to go to the ball to be with her beloved prince. And so here it comes. The baby is going to be born any day in this world. In order to save Cinderella from having to give up her son, Emma decides to make a deal with him. That he spares Cinderella's son, and instead she will owe him a favor. And it's a favor that can be small, big. He can ask her to do whatever he wants, and she will have to do it. No questions asked. So, Emma is now in the debt of Rumpelstiltskin. And this will come into play later in Season 2. As she continues to stay in Storybrooke, she realizes how much she dislikes the evil queen, the mayor of the city, Regina. She dislikes her so much, and she befriends a washed-out reporter named Sidney. And he continues to help her get dirt on Regina. However, it turns out that Sidney, the entire time, was also playing the double agent, spying on Emma for the mayor. Sidney ends up losing his job when Regina fires him, and he disappears from Storybrooke. Not to be seen until Season 4. And throughout all of this, Emma is also helping out the sheriff's office. And she starts to really like the current sheriff. Little does she know, he is currently sleeping with Regina every other night. She continues to make her life miserable. Regina continues to make Emma Swan's life miserable as she stays longer in Storybrooke. Regina kills the sheriff, and trials are held to find out who will be the new sheriff. Emma wins, and she becomes the new sheriff and starts making major changes throughout all of Storybrooke. And while all of this is going, an interesting side story is happening about the cursed versions of Snow White and Prince Charming. Prince Charming in this world is a man in a coma named David. And Snow White is a school teacher known as Mary Margaret. Mary Margaret continues to bring David flowers, as she is also a volunteer helper for the hospital. And despite the fact that she knows nothing about him, she doesn't know his name, she doesn't know what he's like. Yet despite all this, she falls for him. And when he wakes up, and they find each other again, they are drawn to each other, despite the fact that apparently in this world, David is still with the fiancée that he broke up with back in the Enchanted world. So he is still with his fiancée, but he can't help his feelings for Mary Margaret. They want to be together, but they know it just can't be. As the series continues, we find out someone else has entered Storybrooke. And Mr. Gold, the our-world equivalent of Rumpelstiltskin, he believes that this new person is his long-lost son, Bellfire. This is not the case. It is not Bellfire. It is, in fact, Pinocchio, who also found his way to this world. And Pinocchio is trying to convince Emma that magic is real, and she refuses to believe it. That is his mission. That is Pinocchio's mission, to make Emma believe in magic. He fails at the mission and turns to wood, unable to move, because magic does not exist in this world. The little that does exist is very weak. So, he turns to wood and is unable to help her. As a last resort, to get rid of Emma Swan, Regina decides to bake an apple pie. And I'm sure everyone who knows the story of Snow White knows exactly what that means. Henry certainly did, and he refused to allow Emma to take a bite of the apple pie. So, in order to convince her that magic is real, he ate a piece of the apple pie and fell under a sleeping curse. A very powerful one that could end up ending his life if he stays in the sleeping curse for too long. In order to save him, the two mothers must work together. Regina and Emma have to work together in order to find a way to cure him. They discover that the secret to curing him lies deep underneath the library of Storybrooke, where Maleficent, in her dragon form, resides. Emma goes down, fights the dragon, kills the dragon, but as she's coming back up, Regina gets ambushed by Rumpelstiltskin. Rumpelstiltskin ties Regina up and takes the special potion that Emma worked so hard to gain. Emma returns to the hospital bedside of her son, tells him he loves her, tells him she loves him, and she kisses him on his forehead. True love's kiss breaks the curse. The true love of a mother loving her son. And so, with the curse broken, everyone remembers who they are. Snow White and Prince Charming find each other, as they always do. Everyone in the town remembers who they are, including Rumpelstiltskin and Belle. Belle and Rumpelstiltskin had a relationship back in the enchanted world. Rumpelstiltskin was the beast that Belle fell in love with. as well as the fairy godmother who allowed Cinderella to go to the ball, and, as we see later on in Season 2, the crocodile that took Hook's hand. Rumpelstiltskin plays many roles in this series. Him and Belle had fallen in love, and he thought that she had been captured and killed. But no, she was only captured and held prisoner by the evil queen, and has been locked up for years. She was released. She was saved and released. And she met up with Rumpelstiltskin just in time for her to remember who she is. Rumpelstiltskin takes the potion to a special well somewhere in the forest of Storybrooke, pours it inside the well, and a dark fog erupts from the well and engulfs the entire town. Magic is coming. And that is the entire first season of Once Upon a Time. If I missed anything important, please let me know in the comment box below. If you enjoyed this little summary of Season 1 of Once Upon a Time, please share your comments, share your thoughts, leave a like, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. See ya.